Okay, Lucas, what is your favorite Super Mario character?
Probably has to be Dry Bones, because in the Wii Mario, did you play Wii Mario Kart?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he had the best moves. You know, when you'd shake the fucking controller as violently as you could when you go off a jump to do a trick. He had the best tricks. That or Donkey Kong.
I think you actually went to Dry Bones just because you've got a boner right now. I think that's the only reason.
How did you know? How?
And welcome everyone to a podcast now, episode 13. I'm your host, Lachlan Rodwell, and I'm joined by the amazing the amazing person who looks through windows and stares at other people while they have sex. And that is Lucas Borum. He's a frequent voyeur.
Hi guys.
How are you going?
I'll be watching you. Always.
He's always watching. He's terrifying.
Yeah.
Exactly. And yes, this week we're going to be talking about Star Wars Visions, which is an new animated Star Wars TV show. And in addition, we're going to talk about The Voyeurs, which is a new movie on Amazon Prime, came out a few weeks ago. So all of that is to come. But first, the news. And there's big news this week coming out of Nintendo, of all film studios.
Wow.
You know, they're getting into
They're a
movies.
film studio?
Well, they are now. And they recently announced on a Nintendo Direct the cast to the new Mario movie that's upcoming. And
Wow.
it's a pretty funny cast. So what I've done is I've created a PowerPoint to announce the cast to Lucas, because he hasn't heard a thing.
I have not heard a single thing. So I'm very excited. And you said they're funny? Is it... I'm excited. Is it just a bit unexpected, or... We'll see. We'll see.
You'll find out.
Right. Wonderful.
So,
Here we are. PowerPoint has been sent to me through the power of the internet. Wonderful.
So, the Mario movie, right? We already know it's not going to be better than the original, starring Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
Who we
our
all
favourites.
know and love. Yeah,
Yes.
our favourites. Beautiful.
And
it was just...
is Luigi?
you can't
He's
top
wearing a rainbow belt there. Is Luigi confirmed gay?
Probably, yeah.
There we go.
There'll be a Twitter post to follow.
That's an exclusive we just got. Is Luigi is gay because he has a rainbow belt in the original movie.
Yeah. So Princess Peach, say goodbye. You know, you're
She was never going to Luigi anyway.
Yeah.
So, I know what you're thinking, right? You're thinking, who is Mario? And I don't mean who is Mario. We all know who Mario is, but I mean who's playing Mario in this movie. But before we get to who is playing Mario, what is Mario?
I think. What is Mario?
What is Mario? Because let's
Is he a
try
child?
let's try to figure out who we would cast, right? So, what do we know about Mario? Firstly, he's Italian. Secondly, he has a high-pitched voice, right? He's known for saying, "It's a me, Mario.
Here we go.
Let's go." Exactly.
All those lovely, lovely fucking quotes.
So when you're thinking about casting, I think it's very clear you want just a generic leading male, someone who's just an action star, and mainly
Not Italian?
someone who's not Italian, right? That's what you were thinking, right?
But why don't we cast Brad Pitt, because he's a good Italian, arrivederci.
Well, because
From
we
Inglourious
found
Basterds.
someone better. We found someone better, right? When you
Really?
see this, we got perfect casting, all right? Are you ready? Chris Pratt.
Wait, but Chris Pratt is like ripped, and Mario is like, and it has a normal Italian dad bod. So how are they gonna? Are they gonna CG
Okay.
a normal dad bod?
I
on
should have
Chris
mentioned.
Pratt?
I should have mentioned.
Yeah.
The movie is animated. It's an animated movie.
Oh, so he's just the voice.
He's just the voice. So what do you know about Mario's voice?
It's high pitched.
Yeah.
Chris could pull it off. He does have that high pitched singing in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Um,
yes.
You know,
But would he be your first choice of Mario?
No. my,
To
my
me,
first choice. What would your first choice be? For
I
Mario?
don't just it like honestly, if it's animated, right, then it's going to look like how the modern Mario games do. Just get the voice actor of Mario. He's not doing anything. They should have just got him.
Yeah.
But instead,
Why?
no, they've
Why
cast
not?
Chris Pratt, who's he's great in Guardians of the Galaxy and he was great in Parks and Rec, but I think everything else he's in, he's just like, again, a generic action movie star. It makes no sense that he is Mario. Like, is he going to just sound like Chris Pratt? Or is he going to put on a bad Mario impression?
Yeah, no, he's going to sound like Chris Pratt, no doubt. They've got him in just to be like, oh, Chris Pratt is playing Mario. Everyone knows and loves him, of course. So, I feel like that makes most people happy. But real Mario lovers, I feel like, are livid.
It's going to be
They are
so... Imagine him.
disgusting.
Imagine Chris Pratt just being like, "It's me, Mario," like just doing like
It's me, Mario. Like that.
It's good. Oh my god. Anyway, we must move on, right?
Must move on.
Because there's more casting, right?
Christ.
You're thinking it too.
Oh,
Who is Peach?
Who is Peach? Yeah.
Who is Peach?
Christ.
But first,
Brittany.
what is Peach?
Maybe. What is Peach? Yeah.
So Peach, princess. She's the damsel in distress. She's a love interest, right? She's a spicy meatball.
Spicy. She is.
Right?
She's very spicy.
So when we're casting, right? When you think about casting, okay, the obvious choice, you want just a really talented dramatic actress, someone who's up and coming, one of the best actresses working today, because you want someone to capture the trauma of Princess Peach consistently being, captured by Bowser, right? It's a really dark role. We need a dramatic actress to do this. That's the only way. So we get Anya Taylor-Joy.
So she's the girl that's in Split,
And
yes.
The Witch.
And the Queen's Gambit.
Queen's
where
Gambit,
She plays chess.
So
okay.
Anya Taylor-Joy, in my opinion, is a really great actress. I think she's probably one of the most talented actresses, like, up and coming. I think this is really beneath her. Like, this is really, really beneath her, I think.
This is Mario. This is Mario we're talking about.
Yes, but if you've seen any of her other performances, you know she's better than voicing Princess Peach.
But it's Princess Peach. Everyone on this
knows
earth
Princess
knows who Princess Peach. Yeah, exactly. So I feel like she should be honoured to play such a huge role. You know what I mean? It's like playing, any other big video game character like
Sonic.
Master Chief, Sonic. Yeah, I guess. Who played Sonic?
Ben Schwartz.
Okay.
But see, that kind of makes more sense because he's in
he's just a guy.
Parks and Rec, and he's in
Yeah.
he's in other comedies. He's a very funny guy, but he's not like that high tier of a celebrity or anything like that.
That's true.
Or he's not like a really talented actor like Anya Taylor-Joy. So it's just, to me, it's a bit of a like, this is wasted on her. But I think she'll do, out of all of the cast, this is the one that she'll do the best.
Yeah.
Now, who is Luigi?
Who is he?
Right. But first, what is Luigi? He is also Italian, but he's a little bitch. Okay? He can't escape his brother's shadow. Yeah, he's a little bitch.
Yeah.
Have you,
He's jealous.
Ghost Mansion or whatever it's called, Luigi's Ghost Mansion?
Yeah,
He's scared of all
exactly.
those ghosts. He's a little bitch. Okay?
Yeah.
So naturally, okay, when casting, we got to think of someone who's just an erratic, funny man, right? We want we want a comedic relief. We want someone who is still a little bitch, but again, we don't want anyone who's Italian. Okay?
Yeah. It's a common theme
Obvious
of
choice.
no Italians.
Obvious choice, Charlie Day.
Okay. I'm actually excited for this now. I want to see an erratic as fuck Luigi just like
Exactly.
skitzing out. This is gonna be good.
This one is really funny in my opinion. Look,
Yeah.
since all of the casting for this movie makes no sense, at least Charlie Day will bring something to the table that will be very interesting. Like, it's going to be funny seeing Luigi just like if he plays it as like his characters from like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That would be so funny to just have this Luigi running around just being being an idiot.
Oh yeah, that'll be a good watch. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I really hope that they put a cool spin on the movie itself and not just the usual kind of
with the casting
Nintendo storyline.
With the casting we've got so far, like this movie, we don't know what direction it's going in. Like this is very weird casting. Like essentially what they've done is Googled actors and then just picked like the first results. So that makes me think they're going for quite a generic movie. But the fact that Charlie Day signed onto it means that I think there might be something worthwhile in this movie. Because I reckon he's the kind of guy that would only sign on to things if he's like, oh, there's actually good shit here, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Do you reckon Charlie actually knows, well, like, what Mario is? Because, like, it'd be... Obviously, Chris Pratt would know, like, what, Mario, like, the whole Nintendo world and Mario universe is all about. Yeah. But you reckon Charlie would?
Yeah, I reckon, all of these actors probably know Mario. Mm-hmm. See, I reckon they signed on because it's Mario. Like they have... Like, even Anya Taylor-Joy, who I think, like, this is beneath her... If she was a fan of Mario, then it kind of makes sense. It's like, oh yeah.
That'd be huge for her. She'd be like, holy shit, I grew up playing this game, and now I'm playing the damsel in distress, Princess Peach. Who's Bowser? Holy shit. Is that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
Who is Bowser? Yeah. Okay? Who is Bowser? So Bowser, he's a dinosaur, he roars, and he's also a little bit of a cunt, all right?
Is he a dinosaur? It looks like a turtle, though, because he's got the shell.
I don't know what he breathes fire, mate.
Yeah.
I don't know what he is.
Oh,
but
disgusting.
Anyway, so he's known for, he's the big bad, right? He honestly, the only thing I can think of him doing is roaring. I can't really imagine him saying any words. But anyway, so when casting him, we just want we want a legendary comedian, of course. Yeah. So Jack Black.
Yes. This is actually really good. This is fucking Kung Fu Panda vibes, but like if Kung Fu Panda was evil as fuck. Like, this is just going to be actually really good. I'm actually
Can
really
you
happy.
imagine Bowser's voice being Jack Black, though? Like, that's the thing.
Yeah. He can do many voices. He can do many things with his voice.
That is true. He is very talented. He is very talented.
Extremely talented. I think that they have put Bowser in safe hands with Jack Black. I think that, he'll do a very good job.
I still think it's a strange choice. Like,
okay,
everything so far to me has just been like finding just big names and chucking them in.
Yeah. I mean, but it is Nintendo, right? This is their first movie that they've properly done.
Yeah, so, of this like new generation of Nintendo.
And they're Nintendo, right? They're like, okay, we want to put our money in trustworthy hands.
Yeah,
let's get some good names because
big
they
names
have worked well.
To guarantee that people watch this movie.
Exactly.
So far, cast is satisfying that. I think everyone's now going to watch this movie.
It's absolutely huge. Yeah, I'm now really excited for it. But yeah.
Well, we've still got more. Who is Toad?
Toad's in the film?
Not this Toad.
I didn't think they need no, not the Hypno Toad. But I didn't think, like, because Toad wasn't really a huge part. He was just like I give you heaps of shit, and that's
it. Very much. Toad doesn't say much. That's kind of...
He doesn't.
He doesn't say much. So, of course, when casting it, you want to get a sketch comedian. Okay, so you get Keegan-Michael Key.
What? No, okay. This is weird now. This is slowly crashing. It's crashing. It's like the stock market. It's just like, all right, We've done well. Let's go home. Let's go home. Like, very weird choice. Is it like
I don't even know. I don't even know what they're going for there.
Yeah. Like, I'm interested to see what this Toad does. Will he be on the adventure with Mario and Luigi? Or will he just be like an in-and-out character like he is in the game?
I think an in-and-out character. I think you get Keegan-Michael Key because it's like if you have like the core team of being Mario, Peach, and Luigi, right? Then like Mario and Luigi will have this banter and Luigi will be more of the comic relief. But then you might have Toad be like this side comic relief that happens periodically throughout the movie.
Sounds like, yeah, I think that's what they're going for. And yeah, I guess they have chosen the right person for that. But yeah, it's just very strange.
I think this casting particularly kind of is to me a sad choice because it's like I thought he was like, to me the signal's like the end of his career kind of thing. Like, oh, he's on the way out.
True.
He's just getting whatever he can get. And he got this movie.
At the same time, it's kind of like it's Keegan though, and he does whack shit, you know. Like, so I feel like he got an email saying, "Do you want to be Toad?" And he's like, "I of course know Mario. Fuck yeah, let's go." It's like it's easy role to play. But yeah, I think they definitely got like some Westerner like to Nintendo, and Nintendo was like, "We want to do movie."
Yeah,
and this guy was like, okay, I have never played Mario in my life, but here are some actors. And
yeah, exactly. Again, it feels like it was a Google search of actors and they just pulled whatever they saw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
Last one. Who is Donkey Kong?
Wow. Is it Shaquille O'Neal? No.
Well, first, what is Donkey Kong? He's a gorilla. I don't know what more to say. He's a gorilla. So, when casting, you want to get a stoner, you get Seth Rogen.
No! That is not what I think when I get a gorilla. Donkey Kong is not a stoner. What?
I don't know.
I mean, his laugh kind of...
His laugh kind of is like that gorilla.
Yeah.
He does kind of remind me of a gorilla.
Yeah, he is a bit of a gorilla. Because he is like... He has the body for a gorilla. I mean, you know what I mean? Like
he's a hairy big man,
He's a hairy big man. A lot of big names still. Like this, I'm definitely going to watch this movie. This is going to be a
But this cast is literally insane.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, it's like someone was, on cocaine and was just like naming really good actors' names off the top of their head and be like, yeah, fuck it. They can do this role. Like whatever. Donkey Kong, we don't actually like need someone to encapsulate the Donkey Kong aura of being a gorilla and liking bananas and walking on all four limbs. It's just Seth Rogen.
Exactly. So that is the end of the news this week.
Very interesting news. Nintendo themed. Which we all know and love. Nintendo do very, very interesting things.
They make big moves. They definitely make big moves. But we must move on. So let's first talk about Star Wars Visions. So essentially, what this show is Disney saying to a bunch of Japanese creators, you can do whatever you want in the Star Wars universe. And we get this anime essentially, Star Wars Visions. That's a bunch of anthology stories. And they're not very long. They're about 15 minutes each.
20 minutes, yeah.
They're fantastic. It's just
amazing.
Brilliant.
They're absolutely very, very similar to Marvel's What If. You know what I mean? In that
You go. No, you go, and then I'll say. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Like everyone knows and loves the Star Wars universe as well as the Marvel universe, and we of course want to see more of both these universes. So they got What If because they're playing around with everything and all these characters. Yeah. Star Wars is similar in that they're not playing around with specific characters, but they're playing around with, the war, the Republic, Jedis, different characters. And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing just seeing, just more of this huge, huge universe. Like, it's absolutely, they go to so many planets. You see so many just different things happening that, like, I guess all these people that have lived on this planet, like, on these different planets have to, deal with and stuff. That's just so well done. And the animations are, like, awesome. Absolutely awesome. But yeah, what did you think?
I completely agree. It is fantastic. I think the brilliant thing about this show, and I've seen this a lot online, I've seen memes of it, I've seen articles written about this, and essentially, I'll start with the meme. Have you seen Good Time? The Robert Pattinson movie?
Yeah.
Fantastic movie. And the scene where someone's like, you think you're better than me? And Robert Pattinson goes, I am better than you.
Yeah.
There's a meme of that with what if being do you think you're better than me? And Visions being like, I am better than you. And there's been many articles and reviews online that have said the same sort of thing, and I fully believe it. And we'll touch on it in a few weeks' time. We'll do a review of the whole of What If.
Yeah.
But I do want to quickly touch on the fact that Star Wars Visions is a better example of doing what ifs than What If is. And that's simply because there's a fundamental difference between the two. Star Wars Visions is giving the creators full creative control to do whatever they want, right? Whatever they want. Now, there's probably limitations on you can't touch Luke or, Han
obviously.
or whatever, right? But outside of that, you can do whatever you want. Whereas What If is essentially the same creative team making each episode, and they're just creating, like, fun stories. Whereas Star Wars Visions is actually trying to create art each episode.
Completely new stories. Like, and that's adds more to the plot twist. So we're talking last week about the zombie episode, and how there's that Vision plot twist, and we're like, I feel like Visions had like not tens of thousands, but like heaps of plot twists where you're just like, oh shit, which
just a quick example, right?
Yeah.
I don't think let's try to avoid spoilers as much as possible, but just in the first episode, just a spoiler for the very first episode, the end of that first episode, it's revealed that the protagonist you've been following this entire time is actually a Sith. And it was such a simple reveal, and it was brilliant. Yeah. It just was like...
His lightsaber, pulled out his lightsaber. You thought, it's obviously going to be green or blue or, Jedi color because he's going to fight this other Sith. Comes out, it's red. Everyone loses their shit. Yeah. Then he starts fighting the other Sith. And he's collecting all these red...
The kyber crystals.
What are the jewels called? Yeah, kyber crystals. So he's obviously going around killing all these Siths. But can I also just say how good was every single duel in the Visions? Like every single lightsaber fight or just fucking interaction with lightsabers was amazing on every level. Like it was just this like hole was missing of like I wanted to see more lightsaber duels. And I mean, reflecting on the recent Star Wars films that have been just fucking terrible, dog shit. They should, like, if they didn't exist,
the world would be a better place.
Exactly. And the lightsaber duels in that were awful. There was one that was mediocre, and it was like, okay, that was all right. But still this hole, and it just, I feel so much better that this is the direction they're going.
Yes. Yeah. So, honestly, an incredible show, and what I think is so good about it is that, anime, I'm not a massive anime nerd, and the show's probably not entirely targeted at me, and that's okay. But the thing with anime is it's so broad. You have like big, large scale action, type of shows. But then, one of my girlfriend's favorite animes is about like, I think it's a volleyball team. right? It's just that's it. It's it's an anime and it's a volleyball team, right? And so because anime is so broad, the Star Wars Visions plays into that. There's an episode dedicated to just a band in Star Wars.
Yes.
Now, you know,
That was
it was a fun ride, you know. What if
so wholesome.
like what if band
so wholesome.
in Star Wars?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. And that's what I feel like Star Wars fans needed is, I mean, well, they got The Mandalorian. It was amazing. Because it still explored all these like planets, and Visions just explored them more, but with, you know, they were able to introduce more and more characters because, you know, animation can allow that, and all these huge fights that really can't be created too well. You know, because Mandalorian is, you know, shot in real time. They can't just have like, you know, fucking...
No, exactly. The art style of Visions makes the duels so much cooler. Like even the very first episode, like the duel in that is so sick. And you think, okay, this is probably a highlight. But no, there's another episode later on with an old man and he's got two.
Yes.
So good. So
insane.
good. It's so good.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. It was a good...
I don't really know what more else to say other than it's really good. Like, go watch it. I want more.
Literally.
Like, this is a good sign of like the big issue with like Disney is that they for everything they own, they essentially make the same sort of movies, right? Marvel, Star Wars, the Disney live action versions of the right. All of Disney's output recently has been making that same type of action comedy that is family friendly. And it's getting repetitive, it's getting a bit stale. And this is at least a good sign that, okay, at least on Disney Plus,
sign. Yeah.
Disney might be willing to do more risky shit.
And this is why you should, like, this is what should be the selling point of these streaming platforms. Is not just, oh yeah, you get premieres to like Marvel movies and stuff. Like, we have our own shows like the Netflix originals, similar to, that are like fucking awesome. But yeah, I'm so happy that, we watched it because, it's made me really, you know, happy for the Star Wars universe and where it's going because, like...
Well, yeah.
You know.
I mean, right now it seems like Star Wars is best suited to TV with The Mandalorian and now Visions.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it's good that Disney took a risk on this. Like, it's an idea that I don't think anyone thought of. Like, give Star Wars... Like, since Star Wars is very Japanese influenced... Why don't we give it to Japanese creators and see what they create? Like, that's brilliant. It's
the Star Wars that I wish I grew up with, honestly, because it reminds me of the old Star Wars cartoon, like the Star Wars Clone Wars. Like before Clone Wars came out, there was like
another Clone Wars,
another Clone Wars that was like animated, and that shit was awesome because all the fights are really, really good. And I remember watching that and I was like, I want more of this. I want more like really huge conflicts because they had all the droids in it and stuff like that. That they couldn't really do. Well, you know, the Phantom Menace did it, but like that's just a movie. You want to see more and more of this stuff. But yeah, we haven't actually. Have you watched the Clone Wars? Because I haven't really watched it. But
no. So I've tried. I've tried to get into it multiple times. Star Wars fans always say that like the Clone Wars is like the best Star Wars thing ever, and I think the issue is that it had a bit of a rocky start, and trying to get through that period and then get to the parts where it's really good is just a bit of a struggle for me. But what I've heard only good things about Star Wars. Clone Wars. Yeah. But I mean, I think that's largely it for our review. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Yeah. And what if can suck a dick?
Yes and no.
We'll get to it.
It still was the first, but
in a few weeks we'll review the whole series. But yeah.
Also, do you know if because there were some episodes that like the Ninth Jedi where they went and got lightsabers made, that kind of had like a not a cliffhanger ending, but like an ending that led on to another. Do you know if the second season is going to continue or?
There has been no talk, as I know, there's been no talk of a second season yet, but I imagine it probably will. It's been very positively reviewed, and I think it's gotten a lot of good press about it. So I think they'll get a second season, and what the very least they'll do is get, probably a lot of the creators to return and do, whether it's sequels or just another episode of whatever they want. And then they'll probably get more, creative creators in to do more episodes. I can only see this becoming a bigger thing because it's done so well. And I think there's a potential that this influences What If going forward. And I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel turns around and says, okay, season 2 of What If, we're going to get different people to do each episode and they can do whatever they want. As opposed to having the same people make each episode, and then, because imagine being, in the writer's room and you're being tasked to create all these what ifs. You probably come up with 20 and then narrow it down to the 10 for for TV. It's
tough.
You'd get run down, coming up with these other things to do, and some might be too big in scope and others might be too small in scope. Whereas this is just, let's make let's make an anime studio make a 15-minute anime of whatever. And then they just run away and go, yeah, okay, I've made this. I've made this amazing piece of art. Oh, brilliant,
We go, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But imagine that if every studio made one episode a week, and then we got 10 episodes a week. That would be amazing. That would be, I wish Disney could do that. They'd just be like, this has gone really well. We're going to just fucking throw so much money at it.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that this was released all at once, whereas What If is week to week. Why the difference? Who knows?
Well,
maybe because it's so much shorter.
Worked on, one studio worked on one episode, one 15 to 18 minute episode, whereas, there's one studio working on, and Marvel What Ifs are 33 minutes long or whatever.
They are, yeah. But I just would have, I think What If probably would have done better if it was released all at once, because there are, no, I won't spoil What If right now, but there are indications of something larger going on, and then and then that might wrap everything up nicely, as opposed to right now where it kind of seems like a bit of a clusterfuck. But we will get to that in a few weeks' time. That has been our review of Star Wars Visions. Go watch it; it's great. And now, we're going to move on to the wackest movie I think I've seen this year. It's pretty whack. We thought Malignant was pretty whack. This might be a bit whacker.
Yeah, I think so. Well, because, first of all, just wait. If it's not clear, we're going to be talking about The Voyeurs, right, which is an Amazon Prime movie. It stars Justin Smith, who you might know from Detective Pikachu, sorry. Yes.
He's in Detective Pikachu.
Yes.
And there's also the guy from Six Underground. He's in, we only watched the first 10 minutes of that movie, but
dog shit movie.
He's in that. I'm going to get up everyone's names because now I feel bad.
Yeah, same.
Because I only know Justin Smith's name.
Yeah, that's literally what I just did then. So yeah, who else? We got Sydney Sweeney, who's the main character.
Sydney Sweeney.
Her name's Pippa.
Ben Hardy was the guy I was talking about. And we may as well just also include Catherine King So.
Who seem to be... Well, and then there's Natasha Badizzo.
I got that wrong. Natasha is Julia.
She is Australian. Very good.
I thought she was Australian.
Good-looking Australian.
So this movie, I think we're just going to go and say spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the movie, go see it before this review, because I don't think it's possible to talk about this movie without spoiling it. So
let's explain the premise.
Okay.
I like the premise because I watched it with Ferg, my housemate, who has lived in an apartment similar to the one that our main characters, the couple, live in, where you can just look into the next building and see, what the fuck your neighbors are doing. And that sometimes he literally said he's seeing people doing it And that's just the thing
No,
about living
exactly.
in the city.
So essentially, the premise is these happily, well, they're in a relate. They're not married. They're in a relationship. This couple rents a new apartment, and they're very excited. Fantastic! We've got a new place to live.
It's an amazing apartment in
Yeah,
Montreal.
it's a great apartment.
Beautiful.
I think they're in like their late 20s, maybe. And this apartment overlooks another apartment in which the people who live in that apartment, their neighbors, are they're a photographer and photographer and a model.
Well, she says, a model artist. Yes.
Yeah, essentially, they're just artists, let's say. And they, fuck with the lights on and the windows wide open. And,
this is the first time you're seeing them. So, me and Ferg, we thought we were watching a porno for the first, 20 minutes of the film because you just see so many...
Oh, and, the last 20 minutes.
Oh, in the last 20 minutes, that's true. But, there's just a lot of sexual intercourse, a lot of fucking... And a lot of naked people. It's great.
Here's the thing, right? This movie, to me, I was trying to figure out what it is. Because I don't know what genre it was. And I was like, okay, it's a sex movie, right? So there's a specific genre of movies.
Sex in the city. Literally.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a specific genre of movies that is, about exploring sexual fantasies. 50 Shades of Grey is probably the most common example of that. And this is one of those movies, and it's exploring exhibitionism and being a voyeur and that, right? But it then has this really complicated story over the top of it.
Yeah.
So
that is true. The way you kind of said it then is perfect because and that's why most people say they like the 2/3 of the start of the movie because it literally is this bunch of moral dilemmas because the main girl, Pippa, right, is, being a voyeur to her neighbours, but, the moral dilemma is, she's just watching them. Is that bad? Shouldn't they close their blinds? But then it's well, no, she just should mind her own business. But then she sees the husband cheating on the wife, and then that's when it's okay.
Should I intervene or should I
Should I intervene or should, And so the boyfriend's don't, just leave it. And we're kind of that's a bit rude, but at the same time, it's that's what you should do.
I think we are supposed to take the side of the boyfriend. Throughout the entire movie, I think we're supposed to be on the boyfriend's side. Yeah. Because the movie, to me, it kind of forces a lot of the escalation in what happens to the neighbors. And it makes sense once you've seen the whole movie why that is the case. But it feels very forced. It's we're spying on our neighbors just casually. We can see them fucking. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Well, how about I buy binoculars? Okay, fine. Maybe, that's a bit weird now that you've bought binoculars. In a rational state of mind, you've said, yeah, okay, it's okay spying on them. I'm going to buy some binoculars.
Yeah.
And then you're oh, I can record their audio too.
Yeah.
Using a laser pointer, which I'm not sure about the science on that, but let's just forget about that.
Forget about it.
Either way, it's a cool sequence where they're now going into the apartment to plant the mirror so that they can record the audio.
Cool sequence.
But it's now okay, you've had multiple stages to be this is a dumb idea, this is illegal.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Right?
Yeah. And
on top of that, there's a lot of coincidences that happen in the movie because it's we need this to happen. And this is where I'm going to go into spoiler town, so leave if you're scared of spoilers.
Leave. Yeah.
But then a lot of those coincidences get explained away at the end of the movie when, and this is by far the worst part of the movie, is they explain that the artists orchestrated the entire fucking thing for an art exhibition. And so now it's okay, sure, a lot of the coincidences now make sense because, or just a lot of the weird things that happen about the story make sense because, this wasn't a real these weren't real neighbors. They were putting on a specific show to our main characters.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were orchestrating things to happen a certain way. So it's like they might have heard the couple talking about the accordion or whatever. So then they see an accordion in a shop and they're like, oh, we'll plant binoculars next to the accordion. Or maybe something like that, right? Where you can then start explaining things that happen throughout the movie. But that end twist is so bad. Like, it's not needed at all in the movie whatsoever.
Exactly.
Like, this it's at the end of the day, this is a sex movie. Why have you had this very complicated twist that is so ridiculous? It's ridiculous on so many levels.
It just kind of, it definitely ruins the movie. I would have loved if, okay, well, first of all, I knew kind of something was up when, I guess, the chick killed herself over her boyfriend cheating.
Okay, let's just quickly, that's a good point to discuss this.
Yes.
This movie has too many suicides in it for my liking.
Two, and they're both suicides for the same reason as well. So that's why it doesn't work.
That's why, and it's like when you're watching the movie, they don't make sense because I don't think the director understands suicide. The director and the writer of the movie, because essentially, it's like if you find your partner cheating on you, you kill yourself. Like there's no underlying mental health concerns of these people.
Nah. Literally,
they just kill themselves.
People. Guys,
the second they see their partner,
the boyfriend has no one questioned that as well. Like Pippa did. Well, yeah, we didn't. Pippa just kind of cried and went to the funeral, but like we didn't see any of her question it. And I would have liked maybe her to be like, all right, something is up. Like my boyfriend just doesn't like fucking kill himself over me sleeping with another guy.
Yeah,
like and that was a big shock to us as well when we saw it.
It's a weird watching experience though, because you're like, this doesn't make sense now, and it gets explained an hour later that it wasn't a suicide, it was a murder, and in the case of the wife, it wasn't a suicide, it was a fake suicide.
Yeah,
but
it's annoying. It's annoying. But Ferg was also saying this. Look, it was entertaining, and in that circumstance, the film kind of did succeed because it was a lot of moral dilemmas of like, when she got access to her neighbor's printers, neighbor's printer, she was like typing in it and was like, "Oh, your boyfriend is cheating on you." That is like a moral. But, do you tell them? Do you not? It's like I wish they kind of went, expanded on that more.
Here's my pitch for this movie. This movie, bare bones structure of this movie is actually pretty good, right? Mm-hmm. So what I would do, you have Pippa and Thomas move into the apartment. They see that the other couple are fucking. She gets binoculars, right?
Yeah.
But I would make the microphone plot a bit simpler. I would just say it's a Bluetooth microphone, and I mean if she can print across the street, then she can get a Bluetooth signal. That's fine. I'll just say Bluetooth microphone. They plant it at the party. All of that kind of remains the same, apart from changing the premise of the microphone, right? And then you have Pippa reveal that the wife's being cheated on, and the wife just leaves. She doesn't kill herself. She just leaves. Right?
She just leaves.
Then you have Thomas break up with Pippa because she's being a freak and spying on these people, like in the movie, right?
Yeah.
But then, and then you have Pippa get with the photographer, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of, manipulates her and takes photos of her, kind of like what happens in the movie. And then at the art gallery, it's just the picture of her topless and nothing else, right? And my final shot of the movie, in my mind, is her reacting to the picture of her being topless, and it zooms in on her and she kind of smirks. So to me, now the story is about finding your kind of kink, because this is a sex movie, right?
Yeah.
It should just be finding your kink, and she finds this voyeur exhibitionist type kink throughout the movie. It's a sexual liberation, and then that's just the movie, right? That's to me good movie.
Instead of her going on this weird after she finds out that her life's a lie and she goes into the that guy's apartment, and she goes upstairs to their basement, and they've been spying on them the whole time, and and she just fucking ruins the place, and then she moves out.
Yeah, there's a weird epilogue that happens after the movie.
So weird
to try to explain that Justice Smith's character didn't kill himself, and here's the thing: it's like you, as a writer. Know when to stop writing. You've finished the movie. Don't keep writing more nonsense and more twists and more... And just the final shot of the movie makes no sense to me. It's Pippa in the corner of a binoculars. And it's what have we achieved now? Is she some mastermind? No.
No.
She was manipulated the entire movie.
Yeah.
She's just blinded the people now. That. What did she achieve?
Yeah.
And the other thing...
So dumb.
That doesn't make sense about this movie is it's irrelevant whether or not Justice Smith killed himself or not. The artists would still go to jail no matter what, right? Mm-hmm. Signing a release to your photos being taken doesn't exempt you from killing someone. You've orchestrated a series of events that made someone kill themselves. At least to the public, they're still responsible for that. They are going to jail.
I would have liked that. I would have liked Pippa going to a lawyer, paying a bunch of money, and be like, "Can you fuck these guys up?" And it literally is just
she probably wouldn't even need to do that because they publicly confessed to orchestrating the entire thing that resulted in someone's death, and no one says anything. No one seems to care.
A bunch of people leave in the exhibition, but that's not even it's just
but even the people in the exhibition, they're like, this is good art.
Oh yes, that's a person hanging themselves because art. But yeah, so that wasn't. But art is fucking weird. Art is weird.
Art is fucking weird. But
I don't think it's. Yeah, I don't think you would kill someone in the name of art. You killed someone in the name of science or something else, but not art.
But also the other thing is this would have ruined his reputation in real life. Having someone, because if he was a true artist and he had orchestrated this entire thing and it resulted in someone killing themselves, even if you didn't go to jail, which you would, your art career would be over because everyone would be like, you killed someone.
Yeah, so they how she's moving out, the movers see a picture of her topless. That shouldn't be the front headline. That should be the fucking guy hanging himself. Yeah. Not bro. There's a picture of this chick topless. It's blown up online. There are heaps of pictures of girls topless, but there isn't a heap of artists sort of orchestrated someone's death.
Unless you're Logan Paul.
True, and that got him a lot of
backlash.
A lot of backlash. But I mean, he didn't orchestrate that. He was just, oh look, we fucking made this guy kill himself, and that's jail time. That's jail time no matter what. It's
weird because the movie. I think the reason I'm so frustrated is because they were so close on a good idea. They were so close.
They were so
and
close.
They just felt the need to overcomplicate it.
And the filming, the setting was brilliant. Everything else was really good. The
cinematography
was really good.
of this movie is really top notch. Given how shit the story ends up being, the cinematography is so good because the cinematography essentially is voyeuristic. It's spying on people.
You're looking at the main, not the protagonist, antagonist. Sorry.
Yeah.
Through their building windows, as the main characters, and it's really good because then when you actually are in their apartment, the antagonist's apartment, it does feel really strange. It's I've been looking at this place the entire movie, but now I'm in it, and that's a cool feeling that I felt. But at the end with Pippa, they kind of do this, Jason, how in Jason Bourne, it ends with him, walking away and he's, feeling all good because, he fucking escaped everyone
It's
in
like-
this. Pippa's like walking away like,
It's
I
like,
just
oh,
made a
I
couple
won.
blind. Yeah,
I
it's
won.
like,
It's like,
no,
no,
you
you didn't.
didn't.
You just blinded two people. You lost
ruined
your
your
boyfriend.
relationship. Your house that you just moved into at the start of the year is fucking gone.
You were manipulated the
yeah.
entire time to do things.
That's got to take at least a couple years to recover from the trauma of seeing your boyfriend
And-
hang himself. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, be poisoned, but
Well,
still.
or murder. Either way, it's a horrific thing to see. And what I would say about this movie is everyone is a better actor in this movie than Sydney Sweeney. I think she's truly awful.
She's terrible. She's terrible. That donkey thing she was telling to Ben Hardy at the end, she was like, "Hey,
I was falling asleep. I was like, that was the fucking point.
That was maybe the only time, but like even then, I was like, well, I thought back to it. I'm like, Ben's character was probably like, seriously, this is how she's gonna, try and sleep with me. Is she's gonna tell me about this fucking donkey? And then he says, "Oh, that's for slaves." Like,
I think the biggest issue with this movie is that, well, Pippa's not greatly acted. Firstly, like everything she says is very wooden. And she acts dumb, and also she's written dumb. So it's like combined, her character is a fucking moron. And
you don't like her. You really don't like. We were hating her because, she wanted to she got this really nice dress for her boyfriend the first night they were in the place, and the boyfriend, because he organised absolutely everything it seemed, because he was the first son thing and moving everything. He was fucking exhausted, so he just fell asleep. But it wasn't like the rude fall asleep where
he was passed out, like he was unconscious.
He's passed out.
He's
and
exhausted.
She comes out in this nice thing, going like, "Oh look, here's a present," and he's exhausted, and then she's like, "Damn, no sex." Mm-hmm. And then the second time when he busts early, and she's like, she looks over and they're still going. It's like, oh no, they're still going. It's like,
but see, that's why I think this movie.
It's a sex movie because
it's a sex movie.
She wants to be with this other guy because just kink and stuff.
And that's all the movie should be. It should only just be her exploring her sexual fantasy of this voyeuristic thing. Like that is the movie, and that should be the end of it. Yeah.
That's about it. It got 46 on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's do a quick budget, boys, shall we? Budget Brothers. Let's have a look.
I didn't even think about the budget of this movie.
Budget.
But was it? I'm curious whether or not it was originally an Amazon Prime movie or not, or whether it became a Prime movie because of the pandemic.
Yeah, true. All right, well, where the fuck? Domestic box office.
Okay, wait. I'm going to just say the budget is going to be, I'm going to say 50 million.
I'm having a hard time finding it, to be honest. Where the fuck? Usually it just comes up with a big number, and it's like, all right, the Voyeurs budget, please. Thank you very much. The Voyeurs budget. Here we go, Wikipedia. Maybe this will give me it. It usually says
this is the worst budget brothers yet.
Yeah, this is the first time that we've struggled to find how much a movie has been fucking, spent on. All right. I think it is around like 50 to 80 million because the set pieces aren't, it's just a building, two buildings.
Yeah, you could do it on a low budget.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be shocked if it had a high budget.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's look at Vision's budget.
Sorry, I think the Voyeurs Budget Brothers is not going to happen this week. I think they've hid the budget, which is a bad sign if they're not saying the budget.
And I can't find the budget for Star Wars Visions either. Oh no, I can.
That's okay.
Here it is. 115 million. I think. Yeah, wait. Lucasfilms Anime Studios. Oh my god, it just makes me want to watch it again, just seeing all these pictures. For fuck's sake. It's also wholesome. Yeah, no, it's 115 million. That's pretty good.
It looked like that had budget to it.
And,
so
and it's Disney as well. It'd probably make them just shy of 400 million on Disney Plus. Well, they already made
I have some trivia. Just one. Trivia for the Voyeurs. and that is the idea for this film came to Michael Mohan, who was the director,
Yes.
after visiting a friend's new place in Los Angeles, looking out the window and spotted a couple in their apartment across the street walking around naked.
Wow.
And he jerked off and he was like, I've got an idea for a movie.
No, but that's the thing. Like and that's why I think the concept was so good because it actually
exactly
happens.
It's like you taking they should have just taken like the real idea and then maybe slightly exaggerated it, as opposed to then going to the extent of the neighbors are actually spying on the couple and thought they were spying on the neighbors.
That just ruined the entire movie. It definitely felt like there were two directors. Like Michael Mohan died when
he wrote and directed the entire thing himself.
Yeah. Because I did really like how like after every night the camera would cut to like, you know, different apartments and everyone was doing their own thing. They would like, you know, it'd cut to different couples around, you know, Montreal every time. And there was, you know, one guy working out, just an old couple, you know, cooking themselves dinner. But like it just showed that, like everyone can look out their window and look at other people, but everyone's just living their own life. And I like that it was just the story of these two couples and how it escalated. But it shouldn't have escalated the way it did. And it was just silly too. And it probably could have gotten a better score and made more money if it stayed a bit grounded.
Just to go back to Justice Smith for a second. I'm not the only one who noticed this because I looked up some IMDb reviews and they said similar things. Justice Smith in this movie. Have you seen Detective Pikachu?
No, I actually haven't.
It's. I would say it's probably. I mean, it's a low bar, but I think it's probably the best video game movie because there aren't many good ones.
Oh, he's Scott Pilgrim. First of all, thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah. It's a video game movie, but anyway. And Justice Smith in that movie, he's great. But his voice is like really high pitched, and then
really, and then
going into this
really
movie,
low, It's like,
going into this movie, I was blown away. I was like, his voice is so low. And looking at IMDb movie reviews, a lot of people say the same thing. Why is his voice so low in this movie? And some people found it annoying, but I would say he's a great actor. I didn't know he could do that. Like he's actually acting. He's not just playing the same character in every movie. He's created a whole character for this movie. He's done what an actor should do.
You know,
it's amazing.
And like that's what we're saying. Like he was a good boyfriend. You know, he had these like, you know, he had a good job as well. You know, making ad jingles and stuff like that. Beats. But like he was like a good lovable character. A good boyfriend.
And I would say that
Pippa was a bad girlfriend. She up until obviously spying on a couple, she was good, I guess, you know. But
I'd say as well, Ben Hardy, great villain. He's so good. I think the scene that really sold it to me was the party scene, like the Halloween party. Yeah. When he's just like, he's like this fucking monster. And he sells it, and he's like, he grabs up
sells this
Pippa
character,
like,
that he's like, this guy fucks like extravagant women every second day, like he's running around like a cokehead with a fucking mask on, and he's just taking pictures. He's like, you know, and he's stealing, you know, Pippa away from
his character is literally perfect without needing the whole manipulation aspect. The whole like orchestrating the entire thing.
Didn't need
by himself. He is so good, and I think the scene where they're at the bar and he's talking about what's the difference between jerking off and having meaningless sex. Like, they're both meaningless. Why does it matter? Like, and he sells it so well. Like, he's Ben Hardy. Like, this is the only movie I've really seen him in. He's great. He's so good. So
he is really good.
So there's a lot of good things in this movie, you know.
And I just hate that, like, that acting and that character was ruined by, like, oh, we were watching you the entire time, you know? I wish that he was an actual real, like, you know, he had issues and he just cheated on his wife. And he was, like, you know,
and the biggest issue is, instead of us spending this entire time talking about how good those aspects of the movie are. We're mostly spending it shitting on the plot twist because it was so bad. So if like this movie, like, yeah, as you said, it was like a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. Mm-hmm. This movie could have easily been like an 80 at the very least.
Yeah.
If they just had cut that entire plot aspect.
Yeah.
And probably gotten rid of the 2 suicides.
Yes. And had no suicides. It'd be good.
No suicides is a good amount of suicides.
It was just a breakup. Like, it just kind of went so far out of depth when people started dying. Like, it was so stupid. And I, like, yeah, that's all I really want to, you know, that's the amount of effort I really want to waste on this movie. But other than that.
The final positive I have for this movie is that I think, you know, a lot of movies forget about what themes that they're trying to convey. Yeah. But I think this movie does a good job of maintaining those themes and saying we are trying to ask the audience whether or not it's okay to do these things.
Yeah.
And the movie has a lot of motifs of like imagery of eyes, right? She's an eye doctor, binoculars, photography.
Exactly.
Like, and that's all well done, right? It's like everything like the cinematography and all of the visual motifs and all of that build towards the themes of the movie, and that's really good. Okay? A lot of the acting is really good. The premise is good, and then it's just let down. Firstly, Sydney Sweeney's a shit actress, but it's also let down mainly by the story. And the story is just too over the top for this very simple premise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. But that's about it. That's really about it.
That's it. I would say, to just close it off, my final review is: have you seen Rear Window by Alfred Hitchcock?
No. Is it?
So Rear Window is a guy is a cripple. Oh, he becomes a cripple. He breaks his leg or something, and he's wheelchair bound. And he spends his time, because he's so bored, he spends his time looking out of his rear window.
Or, sorry to cut in, but that Shia LaBeouf movie where it's similar. He's on house arrest and he gets binoculars and watches his neighbours. One turns out to be like his love interest. The other turns out to be... I think it's actually a really good Shia LaBeouf film.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Shia LaBeouf.
Transformers?
No.
Disturbia. Is it Disturbia?
Yeah, Disturbia.
I haven't seen Disturbia.
Okay, watch it because it actually is quite good.
So essentially what we're saying, there's better versions of this movie. Yep. A lot less sex, but same sort of premise of spying on your neighbours. Yeah,
Disturbia does it better because
and
it's
Disturbia.
a teenager, like it's in perspective of a teenager. Just because the moral dilemma is covered less because it's a kid, so it's like, what is he going to do with and he uses the information, like he shows his mates like, oh, like what have you been all day? And he's like, oh, I watch everybody, and he finds out that his neighbours, one of them sleeping with the housekeeper, and he finds out that one of them could be a bit sus. He's under the description of someone who's in trouble and stuff like that. But yeah, it's actually quite a good movie.
So this idea of spying on your neighbours has been explored before in movies. This movie, what was it called? The Voyeurs, takes the angle of it being sex, like sexual. Yeah. But then overcomplicates it. So
terribly.
That's the movie.
Yeah. That's the movie.
Yeah. Brilliant. Now, I might address that last week I did say we were going to talk about, we were going to do a Ryan Reynolds double feature, that being him and his wife's Bodyguard and Free Guy. Unfortunately, I got the dates wrong on Free Guy. We will be reviewing Free Guy next week, and we will do the Ryan Reynolds double feature. So look forward to that. Now, I know some of you might be saying, long-time listeners might be saying, hang on a second, you review What If every second week. And we didn't talk about, well, we kind of did talk about it this week, but we didn't review the episodes this week. We did it last week, but we're not doing it next week. I'm sorry to say. We're going to come back the week after, and then we're going to do the whole season wrap-up of What If. So that's 2 weeks away. Next week, Ryan Reynolds double feature. Let's go. Hitman Wife's Bodyguard and Free Guy. Be there. It is going to be the best podcast ever made.
We'll try. We'll literally try. We're going to knock it out of the park or the stadium, maybe. Maybe the stadium's better because it's like the big edges. But yeah, we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Like us fucking everywhere, mate. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.